Hi there, welcome to what will be quite a fun lesson using the amazing D5 render. We're going to light this scene, and along the way I will just call out some, let me just update actually, I will call out some design tips while we're there. So we've got a penthouse here. I know you can hardly see it yet because I wanted to start dark. We've got a penthouse that I designed a few years ago, and I've just put a nighttime HDRI in the background as well. And what I want to focus on is how we can make this a really warm, sort of cozy feeling room. And the first thing that I think of when I'm designing a cozy space, or even when I'm just in my house and I want it to feel cozier, I never have what you call in the UK the big light on. So if I start by turning on the spotlight up here, and all you need to do is make it an emissive material like that, and then it should, see it's just getting a tiny bit brighter. Let's just do like 500. There we go. We've got a little bit of under the counter there. That's just because it's the same material. To go a little step further, let's do spotlight. And just change this to wireframe. There we go. In terms of design tip number one, by the way, we want to not have our spotlights too close together. Anywhere between 1.5 and 2 meters is about right. Look how quick this is to set up as well. Thought I might have had some there. So you want your spotlights where you've got an area where you're doing tasks, and that's called task lighting. If I just go back to the scene, okay. Now that's not looking too bad actually, but there's not a lot going on. It's quite flat. Let me also just turn down the intensity of that as well. There's no need for it to be that bright. We've also got some dark spots here, but we'll get to that. Okay, so that's our main light, if you like, the spotlights, also known as recess lights. I think you can add an IES, yeah, there. Oh, that's nice that we can. There's different profiles as well. We won't get into that. We'll just use a basic spot. So we've already kind of lit the scene. You could almost stop there if you wanted, but it just doesn't feel as cozy. So, another thing to introduce, something that I prefer, are wall lights. So if I just rename that wall light, if I go back to then spot, and if I just turn the intensity to 0, we should go back to the beginning. There we go. So the goal, right, there's nothing wrong with turning the spotlights on. And actually, on a design like this, you would have the spotlights in different zones. You can turn them on and off. So I would actually come back to those and they would be on, actually, because they're your main task lighting, it's the main task lighting area. You would even have them on a little tilt as well. You can get them where in the recess fitting, the inner bit can kind of tilt, and that's what would happen there. Okay, so decision number one, actually, from a design perspective, is that we do want spotlight over there, but elsewhere, I think we'll use different kind of methods. So over here, we'll drop the intensity to say something like 100. And actually, I think there's 2, like that. And I want the temperature to be a warm white. Let's go for that as well. Okay. Then let's try bringing in some, where are we? Indoor lamps, wall lamps. Let's try, actually no, a floor lamp. Let's go for that. So what about a little floor lamp? I say little, I think these are quite big, aren't they? Yeah. Maybe something. That would probably end up being a bit awkward, wouldn't it? Maybe something in the corner. Or even something there. Or better still, because I think that's going to get in the way, let's go back to wall lamp. And let's introduce something like this. Look at that. And when you tell yourself, look, I won't use all the spotlights, or I won't use all the ceiling lights, when you kind of force yourself into that mentality, you're then into the realms of, how else do I like the thing? Basically. So if we then bring this over, and we'll just pop. You can see the bulbs there, there's 3. Just trying to get that, there we go. Just drop the intensity. And actually, let's just pull it off the wall a little bit, just so it's not as strong. Like so. And again, look how simple this is to achieve. In D5, is it 180? There we go. So you see what I mean about cozy vibes? You could even introduce a sculptural type lamp, and we can change the material of that. Look at that. So that brings a little bit of light over there. Okay. Now, a glaring one is a pendant light. I think it's in chandeliers. Yeah. Let's introduce a light fitting that goes over the dining table. So it's always nice to have a feature over the dining table, but look how they're clashing. You don't want that sitting too low as well. So let's just reduce the size of that. And that's obviously, in real world, that's subject to you checking the product, obviously. Making sure you can kind of get it that size. You want it to be about something like maybe 700 or 800 mil above the table. You don't want it too low, but equally you don't want it too high where it's not having an actual impact. And let's just get in there. Let's see if I can just, oh yeah. Yeah, look at that. Nice and warm. And then for these, let's try a little point light. Can we get a little point light in the middle there? And see the way we're getting quite an even light? Well, we will now, over the table. Look at that. So you see the way we're just generating quite a nice mood now in the scene. While we're on that, let's go for another kind of pendant type light over the kitchen island. And what that wants to do is give a nice, even but focused light on the island so you can perform tasks. I might even, oh no, saying that. I was going to say I might even use that one, but it's probably almost a little too decorative. Let's go for that. Because we can discuss spacing. So that's not a bad height. Let's bring a wall light over. I think it's, yeah, Z zooms extent of the selected. There we go. Let's just broaden the cone angle of that, like that. Select that. And then the spacing of that wants to be such that you don't create a dark spot. Maybe something like a 750 mil. I'm just making sure that the whole island is captured. Yeah? Maybe center it. I do like in D5 as well the simplicity of even just selecting things. It's quite intuitive. There are some programs where you're selecting stuff and you're like selecting through it. It's a nightmare. Okay, so we've got that. Now, I did introduce this lamp here, but I actually think, let's go back to floor lamp. Let's see if we can make this work from over here. Because we want light in the living space. Maybe we do have it back where we had it before. Not entirely sure I'd have this in my home, but it will definitely demonstrate a piece of lighting design. Okay. So then same again. What we want to do is spotlight, but we want to make again that cone angle nice and wide and make it a warm colour. Maybe even go 4,000 with it, maybe 4.5. See if we can just get it tighter to the sofa. So that's not bad at all. But I still feel like we want something over here. There's nothing wrong with dark spots, actually. We were going for cozy, and I think we've achieved it. Oh, that's an old bit of artwork. Let me just delete that. This is the SketchUp model. By the way, I should say the SketchUp model and D5 file are available to download from the description below. Now, I did actually want to introduce one of these. These are like art gallery lights. When you've got a piece of artwork or something, I think they're absolutely brilliant. Two really focused lights that come from them. And again, it prevents us from needing the big light. Let's just keep to one, actually. So let's save that. And you'll see in a sec how quick this updates. So once it's imported, you go into your object list, right click, reload. And we should see that piece of artwork disappear and those two lights in their place. There we are. So then, same again. I can select that and duplicate it, and then I've got it then active, so I don't have to change my view or anything like that. Nice little trick. Let's just reset the rotation to there we go, 0. And you can almost fake it a little bit by just dragging it away, because sometimes you don't want it to be too harsh. Duplicate that over here. Just with that slight tilt, so it's pointing towards the wall. And then I can select that one, duplicate, and just pull that away. We'll give that a little cheeky wider cone angle. Okay. And then look at that. Tempted to get a little lamp in over here still. Let's see what we've got. Something like that, modern. Sometimes they come with a wire in the floor, which is nice, but sometimes it's awkward to place. But that'll do us. Let's make it a little larger. Same again, duplicate, love that feature. So we're just getting a little bit of something now on this end of the sofa. I think it's just giving us a bit of framing, if you like, when we're thinking about, even like when we're thinking about the renders, I suppose. Okay. And then last but not least are strip lights. So before I get into that, I just want to recap in terms of the rendering in the first instance, we've gone for a night scene through HDRI. So there's no sunlight coming in. It's a night HDRI. And then we've gone through the steps of starting with the spotlights initially, but seeing that it was quite boring, it was flat, it wasn't cozy by any stretch of the imagination. Sorry, I do want to just increase that. There we go. So it wasn't cozy. It was very flat, very boring. Whereas now I think we've achieved something that's just got a little bit of contrast to it, and it does definitely feel cozy. It's not overbearing. That's the problem when you use the big light. It just fills everywhere. There's just no contrast, and with that, there's no coziness, I suppose. And then we've introduced wall lights. I think that's a very, very important one. Wall lights, and then lamps, different type of lamps. We've got one there and one there, and different types of wall lights. Sorry, I should say as well. So we've got like feature ones, like the art gallery style ones, and then we've got a bit more subtle, like so. And actually, this one is a great example, or will be a great example of, see this corridor here, the way it's dark. If I can just get in there and go, there we go. Instead of turning those spotlights on, I would rather see something like that, much nicer. Maybe even start it one there and another one there, like that. It's, you know, surely you agree, maybe not everyone does, that's the point of design, but surely you agree that that is nicer than the two recessed lights, you know, really beaming at the ground. And you could even, again from a design perspective, could even introduce dimmers, again depending on the product specification, but we could drop that then to like a 20, and it's really nice and subtle then. And we've obviously discussed feature lamps like that as well. They don't have a massive lighting effect, but I think it's a nice little bit of design, and it does have as I say, a subtle impact. So strip lights, this is nice in it's probably more commonly used in like commercial projects, but in kitchens it's called like under counter or under cabinet lighting. And where these spotlights aren't quite reaching you can introduce a strip, and D5 has got them built in. That's very simple to implement, and it's just a case of, there we go, playing with the size parameters like so. And let's just give it a 200 intensity, and again I think 4,500 on the temperature. Oh, I did like the way it was doing that. So let's increase the depth like that, so we definitely get that impact. I think that looks superb. Tempted to introduce one under there as well. Again, duplicate. It's a quicker way of just getting the orientation you want. Oh, sorry, I was about to duplicate that, but I may as well just... There we go. Look at that. Maybe just reduce the intensity to 100. And then one other potential one. It's not as common, but a little cheeky one underneath the island. Duplicate. Now, when I said it's more common in commercial, this is kind of a detail from a bar, if you like, but I think it's quite nice. Yeah, what do you reckon to that? So, slightly different type of lesson that. It's on lighting design. It's kind of a hybrid lesson, a little bit of D5 render and a little bit of design, bit of interior design, lighting design. For me, that is how I would light an interior space and design an interior space with the lighting in mind, whilst mainly avoiding or mostly avoiding the big kind of spotlights. It's got more contrast, more character, but not ignoring the fact that spaces like these, they need the task lighting. So they're a little bit brighter. We've got the lighting on our island, and we've got the lighting above the dining table as well. And we haven't got too many dark spots when it comes to the key areas. However, little dark spots in the living space, I think, are quite nice, especially if we introduced a TV, maybe a TV there. Let's just pop a, that'll bug me otherwise, a little bit of artwork here. But yeah, it doesn't have to always be very even lighting, little dark spots here and there, as long as it's not task-based. It's nice. I would encourage it, because that's what creates those little cozy pockets in a living space. So hope you've enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe. We're really pushing the YouTube channel this year, so loads of free content coming. But if you want to pay us, then head to archademia.com. There's 2 different membership types there, and we've now got, at the time of recording, 52 premium courses as well. But that's completely up to you. And if you've got any queries on this lesson, anything else, leave it in the comments below, or pop me an email at adam@archademia.com.